Hello, Kevin Ye, Vice President of Sales with Hot Sauce, the countertop upgrade selling software. Here to give you a recorded demonstration about why we developed the software, the problems we were encountering, and to give you a demonstration on the software itself. First, a little bit about my background. I've been in the countertop industry for about 4.5 years, which I know usually makes me the newer person in the room, but I've been in construction for about 15 years. And the first time I walked into a fab shop, I was pleasantly surprised to see all these brands I've worked in the past in the back of the shop. Rigid Power Tools, Irwin Hand Tools and Quick Grips, LiftMaster dock door openers, and a lot of people use HardieBacker as underlayment for their saws. I really learned about the countertop industry after spending 3 years at Laser Products, developers of the LT55 and the LT2D 3D digital measuring system. I've got a background in sales and marketing, and we are also a fabrication shop. We are part of the Countertop Factory here in the suburbs of Chicago. And as a fabrication shop, we saw some problems with our business that we wanted to address and solve, which is why we developed the Hot Sauce software. I'm going to give you a little bit of background about why it was developed, how it works, but quickly jump into the demonstration part of the actual software. So the first question we often get is, why do you call it hot sauce? Hot sauce is that something extra that makes everything better. In a literal sense, if you have scrambled eggs or chicken wings for lunch, you can have them plain and that's fine. But if you add hot sauce to it, man, can it turn into something really spectacular. Same thing with the countertop. This is for our customers who come in and say, we're just looking for a plain old rectangular island. Of course, we can fabricate that for them. But since countertops are a significant investment and a pretty permanent purchase, let's make sure we cover all the upgrades and options with them to make sure that they get the exact countertop they want. Maybe it's a waterfall panel or an OG edge instead of a free eased edge. Maybe we take our sink cutouts and offer them wine and cheese serving trays, and you can even heat countertops these days. So it's that something extra we can do to the customer's countertop that can turn it into something spectacular. We're often giving this demonstration to owners and managers of the company, so I'd like to get straight to the point. In a nutshell, Hot Sauce is all about the upgrades. This is one of the most profitable parts of our business, and it helps serve not only your fabricating company, your customer, but your employees as well, and here's how. For the fabricator, it puts all of your upgrades into one sellable digital location with images, descriptions, prices by linear foot and square foot, before and after pictures. We always like to ask jokingly, can any one of your employees name each and every one of your upgrades, what they look like, how to describe them, how much they cost? It's actually very, very difficult. It also helps maximize profits for your company by selling much more of the highly lucrative parts in the form of upgrades. We'll give a great example about that in another industry in the next slide. It gets every customer-facing employee involved in sales. And when they get involved in sales, they become commissioned salespeople, and they get to provide self-funded raises for themselves, including your field measure techs, which I know we often don't see as salespeople, but field measure techs generate over half of Hot Sauce sales generated through our software. For our customer, this is a significant purchase. It's about a once-in-a-decade purchase. Let's make sure that they're educated on all the options that they're available to them for their countertop. Let's make sure they have no buyer's remorse and they get the exact countertop they want. The only way that could happen is if we cover all the upgrades with them. And for our employees, we already covered this, but it gets every customer-facing employee involved in the selling process, including your installers, your field measure techs, your expediters, your project managers, and your sales team, of course. And when these people are commissioned salespeople, they get self-funded raises. Here's another way to put it. We mentioned this in another industry, but a customer of ours said, look, I get it. This is like going to the movies and this is the popcorn, the soda, and the candy. Exactly. So I did some research on the movie industry. 20% of the sales at a movie industry come from concessions, but those 20% of sales generate 40% of the profit. This is the same thing for our industry. Your concessions are your upgrades, your edge profiles, your tear out services, your expedited delivery, your edge profiles, your waterfall panels, etc. Those are the highly profitable parts of our business. So why do we develop Hot Sauce? For two primary reasons. The first one was we realized that everything about today's lives is geared toward making our lives easier and more convenient. But as we all know, going through a countertop purchasing process, there are dozens and dozens of complicated steps. When that customer walks in, it's about the size, shape, and material. where are their seams going to go, scheduling, plumbing, electrical, disconnection, reconnection, cabinet leveling, installation, templating, the list goes on and on. So we said, how do we make this process as easy and convenient as everything else in their lives? And the second thing was we realized that every fabricator, including ourselves, were facing three universal problems. The first was all of our employees would rightfully like to make more money. The second was our costs were usually going up, not down. And the third one was our customers are always looking for the best deal or the best value they can get. When you throw those three things together, naturally, our profits are always being squeezed. So we said, how do we solve this in a single way? And we said, let's use technology and software to do that. Getting new customers is very expensive. We all know this. It's your building, your machines, your people, your sales staff, your social media, your website, your samples, the list goes on and on. So we say, when you get a new customer, what is our job? Well, we got to hug them, squeeze them, and kiss them. Just make sure you don't violate any HR rules, but you got to make them feel really special. And what's that way to make them feel really special? We say there's three jobs every employee has. One and two, you got to play show and tell. You got to show them what's available for their countertop. You got to tell them about all the upgrades and options, which is the hot sauce. And most importantly, each customer-facing employee needs to act like, be like, talk like the expert, because we are. Of course, the customer's done their research online. What's the difference between granite and quartz? But they're always asking you, what do you recommend? What should I get? What's the next step? What do what's your advice? So we get to play these expert advisors and walk them through the shopping process. When we get a chance to sell them on a hot sauce upgrade, it's usually not free, but that's okay because we've all been hot sauce before. Here's a few examples. When we go through a drive-through, they've already got us as a customer. They're just trying to get us to spend 40 cents more. And are we ever mad when they say, would you like fries with that? Or would you like to supersize that? The worst that'll happen is we'll say thanks, but no thanks. When we go through a car wash, I usually buy the $5 version, but when they say, hey, for $2 more, you can get the extra coat of wax and the wheel shine, I usually drop the $2 extra. Next time you go into a coffee shop in Starbucks, look at the menu. They only offer grande and venti sizes on the menu. You can get smaller sizes, but of course they're trying to get you to trade up. The next time we fly somewhere, I know when I check out, they're going to say, hey, for $50 more, would you like early boarding, extra legroom? And then about a month ago, we bought a new TV for our shop because we like to hang it on the wall and show metrics. When we check out, they say, hey, do you need the wall mount? Yeah, we need that. What about the HDMI cord? Yeah, we need that too. How about the 2-year protection program? You know what? I never get that, so thank you, but no thank you. But 2 more options and $70 more, I got hot sauced. So the point is here, I'm used to this, you're used to this, our customer is used to this. Let's bring them this experience when they're buying their countertops. We all buy on Amazon these days, and we do it because it's so easy and convenient. And we've learned that when you make things easy and convenient and fun, a lot of the times price becomes lower and lower of a factor in their shopping consideration. I honestly can't remember the last time or if I've ever price shopped when I've been shopping on Amazon because it's so easy and convenient. Here's my personal example about being the expert. A few months ago, our air conditioner system broke. So we do our research online, but we still call the repairman and he goes, yep, you're gonna need a new one. So my wife and I look at each other, we look at him. Sir, is there something you'd recommend? Oh, I'd only put a Lennox in my home. So of course we go with a Lennox because he's the expert advisor. He knows what's best. We ask for his opinion, he gives it to us. And more often than not, we'll go with his recommendation. Buyer's remorse or reverse buyer's remorse, right? We've all had that feeling as well where we spent some money on something just to find out we could have gotten other things, but no returns, no exchanges, just like a countertop. The only way for complete customer satisfaction and no remorse is to make sure they're aware of all the options that they can choose to take or decline. And Hot Sauce, like we said, puts all those options into one location for you. The best way to get customer satisfaction is to review those options to make sure all of our customers are completely satisfied. Here's a couple case studies I want to review with you. Our shop here, the Countertop Factory, we generated $1 million in hot sauce last year. We paid 10% commissions to our staff. For those of you who do big box work, you know they take a cut from every invoice or every sale. So we pay commissions to our big box accounts, some cost of goods sold. We walked away with $650,000. Let's round up and say we were a 10% profit company. To make that same amount of profits, we would have had to go out and find $6.5 million in brand new sales. So I always like to ask, what's easier, adding $700, $800, $1,000 onto a $12,000 sale, or going out and finding dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of $12,000 sales. Here's another example. And first, right, we talked about half of hot sauce sales are generated from field measures, but we'll talk about that later. Another customer example said, this is perfect for us, and let me tell you why. We installed a countertop for $1,800. We made 10% profit, $180. We actually also sold one hot sauce upgrade for $250, paid commission to our staff, and we made more on the hot sauce sale than we did the actual job. And they said, this is perfect for us because we always used to say, we're selling slabs, we make our money on the upgrades. Here's a great sensitivity model. We always like to start out with field measures. That's my background, and field measure staff is an easy employee headcount to measure. Let's say your company has 3 field measurers, three templators. Look at that middle column with 3 bottles. Those 3 bottles represent your 3 field techs. If they just sell one hot sauce upgrade to that first field measure per day and nothing else to those 4 or 5 or 6 other measures that day, they should be generating $750 per day, almost $200,000 per year. You pay the commissions, you pay the monthly hot sauce subscription fee, which is $500, and a company with 3 field measure techs should be making at least $170,000 per year. Otherwise, you have to go out and find $1.7 million in brand new sales. Now remember, field measure techs represent half of hot sauce sales, so you should easily be able to double that. A company with 3 field measure techs can be generating over $300,000 in incremental profits, or you'd have to go out and find $3 million in brand new sales if you were a 10% profit company. We are fortunate to be a somewhat diversified fabricator. We do some Depot and Lowe's work, we work with our kitchen and bath designers, we do some commercial work. So we wanted to make sure that this software worked regardless of your business model. The big box accounts, Home Depot and Lowe's, are huge fans of this. In fact, we were fortunate to win an award, Fabricator of the Year for driving innovation for this software. Because those of you who do big box work know that anything we can do to help increase that ticket ring, Home Depot and Lowe's get their cut off the top anyway, so they're big fans and big supporters of this hot sauce software. We also work with kitchen and bath designers. Some of them are really, really great, but some of them we know are much more focused on selling the floors and the cabinets and the lighting and the chandeliers. So we want to make sure our kitchen and bath designers are aware of every upgrade we offer and we can provide to their customers. So we can set your kitchen and bath design partners up as employees as well. They have access to the software. They can walk their customers through all of our countertop upgrades. And commercial work, the great thing about commercial work is if you can use this software and sell it to the architect or builder or designer, then that one upgrade extends to all 30 apartment complexes or all 30 office buildings. So it's a great way to increase your ticket ring and your sales with commercial work as well. We started out with just the basic services like edge profiles, tear out services, something every fabricator offers. But then customers in California were saying, hey, we do this, and customers in New York saying, oh, we didn't do that, let's add that. Same thing with customers in Texas who said, we do this. Customers in Illinois weren't doing this, so we added these things in. So now we've got over 180 software upgrades or hot sauce upgrades, not just the basics, but things like backlighting and custom pet bowls and wireless charging stations, because every home or every commercial job could use more power. So this has become a great community of 180 or so options, and you just turn on the ones you want to offer, and you do offer, and you turn off the ones that don't, and they never show up in the software. We've become a great community, so we have the best practices on price points, what the best sellers are, the best practices in terms of commission rates, and you have access to all that data when you join our team. Here's a few results from actual companies. Most fabricators are generating between $15,000 and $20,000 incremental profits per month. You can visit our website to see some of these testimonials, but we've been fortunate to witness some great results from great customers, and we hope you'll be part of that. This is the last slide before we get into the software, but having been in the industry for 4 years, been to a lot of these seminars, heard some of these guest speakers, I'm a true believer that this is the fastest way to increase your earnings without having to hire new people, add new benefits, invest in expensive machinery, tools, or capital equipment, and most importantly, without having to go out and find, recruit, market to, compete for, and attract new customers. This is about maximizing your profits with customers you already have. Here's some testimonials on the bottom, but let's jump into the software.